Berlin, Berlin, Berlin. I'm going to say Berlin one more time because why not? It's my channel. Good morning, fellow YouTubers and bookworms alike. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing the book name tag. I'm spelling out my name in books, the name being Educating Elle and not Elinor because I like to make life difficult for myself. As you may well have guessed, there's a lot of E's in Educating Elle. So I had to find a lot of books beginning with E. So let's start. E from Educating Elle. Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. A great young adult book about people who, when they die, they go to this afterlife and they age backwards. And this poor teenage girl who dies has to then cope with missing her family and being dead and the idea of rebirth. And it's all very interesting and it's a great book to read if you're like 11. Or if you're 22 and you just want a nice, kind of emotional but also heartfelt read. D. Dead Girl Walking by Brookmyre. Scottish hero of crime. This is part of the Jack Parlebane series, however you don't have to have read any of the other Jack Parlebanes to understand this. It is set mostly in Berlin, which is why I love it. I love Berlin! Parlebane is hired by a friend of his to investigate the disappearance of a band member, Heike, while the band were touring in Berlin, and it all starts to get a bit mysterious and you realise that the band manager and the tour is not quite what it seems. U. Now U is a difficult one. There are no books in the world, I don't think, that I have read that begin with U that I have thoroughly enjoyed, so I have chosen a book to represent my university experience. And U for Ulysses. Perhaps one of the biggest books ever written in the English language. Thousands of chapters, some without punctuation, some in the form of a play. Quite complicated. However, as you can see by the beautiful spine injuries of my book, I have actually read it, so I feel like I'm allowed to put it on this video. C. Call the Midwife by Jennifer Worth. Obviously, the book that the TV series was based off. Just a very good representation of the first series, and it gives you this extra insight. It's good to watch if you love it. I love it. I love the music in the series, so maybe I would recommend reading this book with the Spotify Call the Midwife playlist on in the background. A. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. Another crime fiction book. As you know, I love crime fiction. I can't help it. I love it. 10 strangers arrive on an island after being invited by a mysterious person who's bought the house. That person doesn't seem to be anywhere, and then slowly but surely the 10 of them all start to die in the same way that the soldiers disappear in the poems that have been left on the walls in their room. T is for To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper. If you watched my book sacrifice tag last week, you would see that I chose Go Set a Watchman as my disappointing sequel that I would use to shield myself from the rain. I would not use To Kill a Mockingbird as my shield because I love it. My copy is slightly battered because I've read it so many times and I just think it's a beautiful story. And perhaps one of the only books that you're forced to read at school that most people will love and enjoy. I, Inkheart. For two reasons. One, because Cornelia Funke, the lovely author of Inkheart, comes from Hamburg, which is where I was born, and two, because she has named a character Elinor. Elinor spelt my way, guys. Not Eleanor, spelt any other kind of stupid way. Sorry, other Elinors. But Elinor is the only way forward, and it's the only book other than Sense and Sensibility where I have seen that happen. So, Inkheart. N. Another kids book. Noughts and Crosses. Malorie Blackman. I keep saying kids books, I mean like teen fiction, young adult. I hope kids book isn't offensive. Another book that I read when I was 13 that I absolutely loved, that made me change the way I look at fiction, it made me change the way I look at the world, and it opened up this new love of mine for books that are set in a world that we live in but are slightly different. Think 1984 or The Hunger Games or The Handmaid's Tale. God, there are so many. That means that leaves us at the end of Educating with Girl Interrupted, a book that ironically educated me a lot about what it's like to be a girl and what it's like to be a 20-year-old girl, not knowing what the hell are you doing with your life? This, like Called the Midwife, is autobiographical, slightly fictionalised, but not fiction. I love books like this, I love films like this. Like in Hidden Figures-esque. This is like that. It's a great book to read if you like Sylvia Plath and the Bell Jar. Ellie, my name now. 2 E's and 2 L's. What on earth am I going to choose? It was difficult, but the first one I went for was Ella Minnow P by Mark Dunn. It is about an island off the coast of America where the man who invented that sentence, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog, he lived there, and so the island kind of worship him in a way because they think he was a master of letters, and they have the sentence written above the town hall, and slowly but surely, during the course of the novel, the letters start to crumble and fall. The elders in the town think that this is because the gods will it, and you shouldn't use that letter anymore, so Z falls first. Boom, no more Z. Can't do anything that has the letter Z in it. It's kind of a light-hearted 1984 with added literary, languagey, linguistic-y benefits. Next 2 books are from my Kindle, both the L's. The first one is Kate Atkinson, Life After Life, another one of those books where everything is the same in the world, but there's something slightly mystical about it. This one is about parallel universes and how one thing in your life can change the course of history, change the course of your life, or anyone else's life. It's set in the 20th century, during the course of sort of the mid-20th century, and it is a great read. Love, Nina by Nina Stibbe. This one is also, like Called the Midwife and Girl Interrupted, like autobiographical. It is based on Nina Stibbe's actual letters to her sister, or I think they are just Nina Stibbe's actual letters to her sister. When she was a nanny for Mary Kay Wilmers, who is a big figure in the literary world, and a neighbour to Alan Bennett in the 80s. And she was this northern hippie-esque person who didn't wear shoes, and it's all about the hilarity that ensues. Next, finally, this is my favourite book of all time, and I can't recommend it more. It's called The Eyre Affair by Jasper Fforde, and I think everyone should read it. I think people should be forced to read it at school, because it combines my love of crime fiction with my love of universes that are the same as ours but slightly different, and literature. It's got Jane Eyre in it. Thursday Next is a literary detective. It means that there are detectives in this world whose job it is to look into literary-based crimes, and suddenly Jane Eyre disappears. It is also funny and full of puns, and yes, you should definitely read this book if you're going to read anything ever in your life. That book. I hope that was alright. I hope it wasn't too fast. I tried to keep it short. If you liked that video, make sure you click the like button below, and if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I will be back next week with more bookish fun. Bye! I can't, however, find the original person who did this, so I'm just going to link some of the book name tag videos below, and you can watch them if you want. Maybe one of them is the original. If you were the original book name tag person, thank you very much, because this is a great tag. Oh! It's my Harry Potter bookmark! I didn't know that was in there. Oh, amazing!